Rutgers men's basketball hosts St. John's on Thursday, October 17th, 6:30 p.m. at Jersey Mike's Arena. Game will air live on BTN. There are tickets still available as of right now. As I record this Wednesday, all proceeds benefit the V Foundation. Jimmy Valvano, obviously Rutgers legend. And this is just a tremendous opportunity for this team to get real experience against a very good Big East team, projected to be very good Big East team. Rick Pitino coming to the rack, always exciting. And there's a lot of things to watch for in this exhibition. And remember, it's an exhibition. So last year, Rutgers was at St. John's. It was extremely exciting matchup. It went into overtime and double overtime. And but there were some things that happened in that game that you could take away, and we realized later showed some issues. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of experimentation as well. But it's the first opportunity for Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, this new look Rutgers team, transfers, other freshmen, to play in front of the home crowd. And I expect it to be a raucous environment. So let's just talk about things to watch for in this game. I think the biggest thing that we learned last year from this matchup is the Rutgers backcourt had a lot of trouble handling the pressure of St. John's. And that is going to be something to it's going to be something to assess with this team to see how they handle it. We know Rutgers wants to play more up-tempo this year. We know that they're going to press. They always say, the old adage is teams that love to press don't like to be pressed. So the tempo of this game, which team can control the pace, stay under control, limit mistakes, limit turnovers, is obviously going to be key. But St. John's, they have a lot of size on the perimeter. Other than Devion Smith, a dynamic transfer guard from Utah, he's just 6 foot, but he's going to be a really good player for them. Obviously, Kadary Richmond, Seton Hall transfer, now with St. John's at 6'6". Those two are going to be their lead scorers, along with Aaron Scott, the wing from North Texas. And then obviously RJ Luis is back as well. So you're talking about 3 guys that are 6'7", 6'6", that can defend and play multiple positions. And then obviously Devion Smith, the ball in his hands. Simeon Welcher's back, the 6'4" sophomore from New Jersey. But they have a lot of intriguing pieces. And then they have at the 5 spot, the 7'1" center transfer from USC, Vincent Chukwu. He is a big-bodied guy that Rutgers is going to have to contend with. He's pretty efficient around the rim. He's a rim defender. St. John's poses some matchup potential problems for Rutgers, and it's a great test. And it's going to be fascinating to see how this team responds under the bright lights for the first time. So I think in terms of handling pressure, right? I mean, obviously Dylan Harper is going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit, but it's also about how they spread the floor, how they attack the press, how organized they are, how poised they are, will be really interesting to see. And obviously a great learning opportunity for this group. The biggest way you avoid the press is you get stops on defense. How this team rebounds, obviously, is something that we want to see in this game. It's got to be all hands on deck. I mean, in terms of a size perspective, Rutgers does match up relatively well, although we'll see what happens at the 5. Igbole size-wise matches up with Ichukwu, but you're also, I think, going to see Martini at the 5. Will it be when St. John's has a different 5 in the game? Will they go with Martini there? Will Ace potentially match up there? Obviously, Lathan Somerville's going to get some run. It's going to be fascinating to watch that kind of storyline develop. But the matchup everyone wants to see is Dylan Harper versus Kadary Richmond. Obviously, Richmond, extremely experienced, fifth year. It even gave some bulletin board material, although it's an exhibition game, with Adam Zagoria on Tuesday, saying, quote, "Another game against Rutgers. I'm used to playing against them, so it'll be nice to start the season with a nice win." I quote tweeted that. If you don't follow me on Twitter, please do. Aaron _Brightman. I couldn't resist in commenting and saying, I respect his vibe despite losing at home last season to the only Rutgers team without a winning record and postseason appearance this decade. So I love that Kadary Richmond is, amping this up a little bit. He's a very well-respected player. And, it's good for college basketball, right? And it's good for this team to kind of come into this game with a little more juice. So, the competitors, Dylan Harper, and how he performs against Kadary Richmond. It's going to be a great litmus test for him to see how he matches up with such an experienced player, similar size. And honestly, if you look at the entire schedule this season, it's going to be one of his toughest matchups of the year. So to get it right off the bat, great. And whether he does really well or does not, it's going to help him down the road for sure. So we know Rutgers offense is going to go through Dylan Harper. How much of a problem is Kadary Richmond going to pose for Harper? How well will Harper be able to defend? Perhaps they move Jeremiah Williams on Kadary. He's defended him before. So we'll see how they approach that. I mean, Steve Pikiell's approach typically is throw multiple guys at the team's best player. So we'll see how that does. I do think this is a different type of thing, right? The rotations, you're going to see some experimentation on both ends. You're going to see potentially some lineups out there that they're going to test that might not be lineups they typically go with. And everyone's going to overreact to the score, good or bad. But I think if you can experiment and have certain lineups or rotations in there for better or worse, the benefit of that over the actual result is more important in terms of this being an exhibition and seeing, what you have with this team early on. Watching Ace Bailey in a Rutgers uniform is going to be a delight. I think evaluating his shot selection. How do they run the offense with Ace? How do they get him shots? Is it through the flow of the offense? Is he going to have to force things? Is he taking contested 20-footers? Is he, being able to, are they able to get him the ball moving to the basket, making cuts, getting him open shots? Again, I think Dylan Harper is going to have a lot to do with that. How much are they going to get out in transition? Again, stopping the press, you got to get defensive stops and then be able to, how is this team going to, in terms of their outlets, running the floor, passing the ball down the court, getting to the rim, is Ogbole able to rim run in transition? That will be a key development if they can see that out of him. There's just so much to look for in this game because we haven't seen him yet in an actual game environment. But I think how Dylan's able to run the offense with a top guard going against him, how they're able to get Ace in the flow of the offense, how they're able to get him looks, is he getting consistently good shot looks, whether they go in or not. 3-point shooting, obviously a key for this team. How are they going to look? How are they going to, in terms of get shots for guys like Zach Martini, PJ Hayes on the wings? And are they able to knock him down? I mean, talked about, this team can shoot around 35% from three this year. That would be a huge boost. Going back to analytics, KenPom has St. John's at 19. Bart Torvik has St. John's at 16. Bart Torvik has Rutgers at 19, but KenPom has him at 63. And a big part of that is the difference is Torvik is accounting for the freshman production from Ace and Dylan. I think defensively, Rutgers is going to be different. As much as St. John's wants to press and pressure the guards, I think Rutgers is going to try to do that as well. So can Ogbole be a competent rim defender? That's certainly something to evaluate, but I think the way in which Rutgers is going to be built more defensively is perimeter pressure, using their size, athleticism along the wings, and being able to kind of make offenses uncomfortable in terms of getting into their stuff, running their offense either later in the shot clock, farther out from the rim than they want to. Are they able to kind of dictate that defensively will be something really key to watch for. And then, of course, just in terms of how this team is able to finish around the rim, that was a huge problem last year. How they're able to get to the foul line in terms of efficiency, free throw rate, and then once they are there, are they able to knock down free throws? But overall, I think just the vibe of this team, how much energy are they playing with? How under control are they playing with? How together are they playing? there's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit choppy at times, especially if Pikiell is really experimenting with rotations. But it's going to be an opportunity to see all 12 players. Again, just how this team matches the intensity of St. John's, is able to handle the pressure, able to handle the bright lights, the RAC crowd for the first time, and just how they're able to share the basketball. This is going to be an opportunity for Ace and Dylan to show that they're able to operate within. How does Dylan Harper facilitate also off the bench? Presumably Jordan Durkak, Jermichael Davis, that second unit. How are they able to share the basketball? How much are they able to get into the flow of the offense? How do they hold up defensively? What is there to watch for? Everything. And it's super exciting, and it's a great opportunity for fans to see this team 3 weeks out. It's a great opportunity for this program to go up against such a high-profile team, top half Big East team, and there's going to be a lot of lessons learned in this game, and there's a ton of raw talent in this game. But I think it will be telling. How much is Rutgers able to dictate pace? How much are they able to neutralize the press of St. John's? How much are they able to create issues for St. John's in forcing turnovers? How are they able to rebound on both ends of the floor? Are they able to finish around the rim? Are they able to get contributions off the bench? Because we know that supporting cast is going to be so important to the success of this team. And just in terms of Ace and Dylan, first opportunity, bright lights, going against some top talent. Who's going to defend Ace from St. John's? I'm not quite sure. It's going to be fascinating to see who they put on him. There's no one really that kind of jumps out in terms of a kind of a natural matchup. Maybe RJ Luis is the guy that they will put on him. A little bit undersized to cover Ace, but I could see that, and we'll see. But overall, I think this is a intriguing matchup on Thursday night at the RAC, BTN, 6:30. I'll be back with a reaction after the exhibition. A little bit later, I'll have to tape delay it. I have some kid duties. 6:30 is a little bit early for me in terms of taking care of my kids, but can't wait to break it all down with you. The journey starts now. And what's great about this is that this is a high-profile opportunity for Rutgers in a situation where it doesn't count. So there's a lot that they can learn. And as I said, I think experimentation in this game is good. And whether it impacts the overall score, people are going to react or what. But if you can learn something about your rotations, about your matchups, about your lineups that you didn't know before this, that's going to be more valuable than whatever the final score is. Rutgers, obviously, AP number 25 in the AP poll. St. John's just on the outside. People will read into that. But analytically, St. John's is top 20 in both KenPom and Torvik. Rutgers top 20 in Torvik, 63 in KenPom. Again, I think they're being undervalued on offense by KenPom because it's based on past trends. It's going to be fascinating to see how Ace and Dylan operate in this offense, how they're able to generate scoring opportunities for themselves and their teammates. And it starts now. So I hope you enjoyed this preview. I'll have previews for every game this season and obviously rapid reactions as well. And I'll check out my mid-season review with David Anderson on Rutgers football. Plenty of content on the Scarlet Faithful podcast this week so far, and plenty more to come. Thanks so much for listening and watching once again.